This is a reading for the Taurus female single. So let's see what we can figure out. I used the House of Love spread I made up. Basically 3 cards in the roof. And that can symbolize, okay, the meaning of your next partner. So it kind of jumps to your next relationship. So you may not be in this right now, but it will show you your next significant relationship in that way. And then the 4 cards that make up the house, those cards are really telling of the relationship as it's in full swing. Once we're past the dating phase where everybody drops their guard and you are who you are in the relationship. So those 4 accentuate that. So it's a little bit of a different reading because I feel like singles, a lot of times there may not be anything going on, but you know, you need to kind of peek into the next one coming. And sometimes that may change things a bit. People can get stubborn and reroute themselves, so be aware of that. But that is the intent here with the House of Love spread that I made up. So it looks like that. So the first card I get for the Taurus female is the Ten of Swords. And this card is really popping up everywhere. In the card, right, we have a woman who's sleeping and a man who's dropping a rose. We don't know what the scenario is. Does he not want her to know that he cares? That's kind of the sense I'm getting here, because there's really, even though the Ten of Swords in a normal deck, right, is that feeling like you're being stabbed in the back. This doesn't really, I can't translate any of that to this card. It's really more of a light sense. I feel like the male's wanting her to wake up to a rose and not know who laid it there. So there may be something with the female where she may be crushing on someone or wishing for something or making small advances to let someone know that they may want to, you know, highlight things a little more, like trying to give hints to someone to come my way, but not really wanting to go all in yet. So that's kind of the sense I get from this card, is really wanting to kind of flirt, but not wanting to be in a relationship just yet. So, and that's kind of how things are going to start, right? It's going to start from a place where you're feeling good being single and you don't know if you want to give that up. So it's going to have to take a lot more to get this person to be interested. So on the sex side of things, I get the 8 of Cups, which is a really great thing because it shows, right, that the 8 of Cups in the sex side is really that dreaminess, trying to really, it's kind of like the 7 of Cups card, it's being in your head and dreaming about having, fantasizing about what you really want. So I feel like really dreaming and letting her head go to what she really wants the perfect man to be, right? So that's a good energy. I feel like this is very warranted. I don't feel like it's off in a spacey la la land place. I feel like it's really laying down the track. This is what I want to come at me in the future. And when I, you know exactly what it is, I'll know when it hits me. And then I can say yes or no, right? If it lines up with everything I want. So that's good. I feel like they're really laying down the track for something solid. So the next card I get in the roof, and this is the meeting, right, is 21. And in this deck, I was explaining in another reading, the 21 card is usually about a completion of cycles and stuff like that within relationships. Now here we have a couple that feels heavy burdens. The burdens of the world are on them, right? And then also a child. So we may have a situation here where you may be attached to someone that you feel burdened within the relationship in some way. Interestingly enough, the next card kind of says it all, because we have 21 here, feeling the burden, right? in a romantic sense, you're feeling there's too much responsibility here for it to be fun anymore. So the next card I get on the sex side of things is death. So the end. So you may feel that burden so much so that you decide that it's not worth going forward with. And it may be someone that you're attached to through a child and just not having any fun anymore. So you decide to take a break, end it, transition to something else. They're making me take note of the hourglass here in the death card. So we may have this burden card, this burdensome feeling last a little longer than it should. We won't make that decision to cut. So maybe you don't make that decision in February, but it lingers till March or April. And then you start to feel the spring fever and you say, yeah, you know what? I want to have fun. And this ain't fun no more. I'm not having fun. That's what I'm getting a sense here, is that everything is coming down on this couple and they really can't handle it anymore. They're not, it's just not fun anymore. So not good, because it's kind of symbolizing there's an interest here, but it's too burdened to go forward. So the next card I get is the Six of Canes, which is the moving on card. I'm moving. You know, I'm not only ending it, but I'm going in a different direction. And then the next card I get for the sex side of things is the Emperor. I need someone who can take more charge, take me seriously and take charge of me in a gentle, compassionate way. Because I'm getting a sense here this guy just wasn't strong enough for this Taurus woman. He just wasn't, he didn't take charge. He didn't say. And I don't think she wanted to be bossed around. Not in that way. I feel like she just needed someone who is willing to say, meet me here, da da da. Take charge of that instead of her having to go out and attack and really make all the decisions. I feel like she wanted more of an equal partner and this person just didn't quite measure up. So that's really what I'm getting. So it seems like over February, because I really locked in February, but I mean, different people deal with energies differently. So it can last a month past, you know, but I'm getting a sense here that this is the situation that you're deciding over the month of February. Is this really giving me enough? No. One, he's not strong enough to maintain that thing I'm attracted to. It's not there, you know. And two, it's like, you know, I'm starting to get in my head and dream about better things. So I'm going to go in that direction because that's really going to make me more happy than things are now. The weight of the world is starting to come into the relationship, starting to feel like, again, lightly dating, but still haven't quite gone and made the commitment to each other yet. So it's one of those things. It's like starting to even itself out to where people are getting relaxed and they're realizing, you know what, yeah, this isn't for me. This isn't. But it's just not. You just have to realize that. So definitely the Taurus female single is really thinking, you know, this one ain't for me either. She hasn't really found anything that's really something she wants to bite down on, you know. So the next card I get in the House of Love, okay? So this is interesting, is the Knight of Coins. So the Knight of Coins is a earth sign energy. So that could be a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. And they are very stable. And I mean, in this card, the guy's dumping his, so he's very financially stable is the sense I get here. And he's kind of, even though he's smart with his money, and that's how he got that way, right? But he's willing to kind of spread it out a little bit. Spread it out in the romance area. He's willing to kind of spend his money to impress a woman, right? And I feel like that too was not something. I don't feel this man worked hard enough to impress her. He just didn't. And then so she tried to let it go as long as it could, and it just couldn't last. So the sex card I get on top of that is the King of Pentacles. So that's interesting. We get a knight, and then we get the king in the bedroom. So maybe this knight, okay, and I do sense that, it's interesting that the cards we got in the roof, right? Because I'm saying the roof is about how we meet. And what's going on here is there's been a break. So we've break from one energy. Okay. So a possibility of someone coming in is like, no, I'm not going there. And then already we got a new man taking that place. So this definitely an earth sign, a Capricorn, a Virgo, or a Taurus, okay? And he is more in charge. You know, he is going to make, you know, depending. I mean, if we got a Taurus, he's very much in charge and wanting to go in a direction. So be aware of them. But nonetheless, we have the King of Pentacles here. And on the sex side of things, he can be overbearing. So that's the thing. I'm getting outside the bedroom. This is adding up. Like, this is going into the dream time of the Eight of Cups coming in to true what I'm thinking of. But in the bedroom, there's a little bit of an overpowering that's disarming to the Taurus female. So if you're cross-watching, beware of that. Because the Taurus female it can keep up with that, but they're not going to want to appreciate that on a level. You know, they can be rough and tough in the bedroom, but they want to be soft and sensual, and they want to be appreciated in that way. And that's really, I think, what's going on here with this sex card is like he's a little too demanding in the bedroom to the point it's really turn off to the Taurus woman. So be aware of that male. Okay, that's something that's going on there. Now the next card I get is the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is really about contentment. I say commitment. Contentment in the love area, right? In the emotional area. That's the contentment. So there's really, if we look at the two romance cards, the Pentacles guy and the Cups, there's really a lot of emotional fulfillment here in this new relationship, okay? There's a lot of emotional fulfillment. He does it. Now, going to the sex card, we get the Seven of Wands. Again, this card can, and I always say it's got the creepy factor to it. Like he's praying too much in the sex side. He's focused too much on the sexual side, and she can feel that and sense that, and it's off-putting for her. She's not being appreciated for the full woman that she is. She's just being appreciated sexually, and though that is nice in moments, we don't want it to run the show, right? We don't want it to be the only thing he's coming back for. Okay, so that's really what it is. She's feeling contentment in the relationship emotionally, but sexually, it's not quite adding up. Why? Because she doesn't want to be preyed. She doesn't want to be preyed upon sexually. So that's really the feeling I'm getting here, is just like a gnawing down, like a lion going after the kill, right? And it needs to be on a softer, more compassionate air. Even though the Taurus gives off the vibe that, yeah, I can handle it, da-da-da, it is not something that satisfies her deep down. You will not hear it come out of her mouth. She will just take off. She will just take off to something that gives her that soft sensuality. So be aware of that, men that are looking for these Taurus singles. That's not kosher. You have to tone it down. Okay, the next card I get in the romance side is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords, geez, that's another card that kind of symbolizes regret, loss, regret, sympathy, deep sadness, right? Because we have this, it's almost like a burial mound that she's laying at. So there's a lot of deep sorrow and sadness coming. So out of the blue, right? So maybe it's the fact that, you know, this guy, he had it on the outside, but in the bedroom is just too much. I can't handle it. I had to let it go. It might be that, right? The Eight of Swords. So as we go on to the next card in the sex side, we get the Five of Swords. And again, this card has a creepiness to it. But I feel like the woman's a little more in than the Seven of Wands card. The Seven of Wands card, I feel like the woman is actually toned out. Like this, I'm getting a lot of stuff intuitively here. The woman is actually kind of zoning out to a scary degree, where she's like, I don't even want to be here. So her mind's off somewhere else. She's kind of taking the physical thing that's going on in the bedroom, but not contributing in any way. So yeah, definitely an imbalance. But the Five of Swords is her warming up too. So I'm almost getting a sense here. The Taurus woman is kind of come along And she might even be going into another physical relationship, because I'm getting the sense here, this knight, this earth sign that comes her way, he's very overpowering in the bedroom. It's just not a match. And then there's contentment. So maybe she just gives that a little chance, like a little, dips her foot in the pool. There's too cold. I'm out of here. And then she starts to look for something more to her liking, and then starts to gear in for that. And then I get the last card, I get the 5 of Swords, which is loss and regret again. So there's so much loss and regret here and moving. It's almost like we're dating, right? And no, this one don't fit, this one don't fit, this one don't fit. So we may have a series of 2 or 3 over the month of February. We're kind of lightly dating, and we're just not. No, another one that's not. And kind of getting upset about that to the degree it's bringing you down, you know, especially in the month of February, right? You go through 3 dates and it's like, I couldn't be bothered, because I don't get a sense that any of these are really deep-seated relationships. I get one is really like got a lot going for them, but the sexual side is just not a match, and it's so much so they can't go forward with that. It's too rough in the bedroom. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work. The last card we get on the sex side is the Knave of Cups. So he is really the jealous lover. Okay, so that kind of brings a different level here. We may have a situation where the Taurus female has been lightly dating and things are not adding up. It's just kind of going through the motions with these guys and not really finding anyone to sink her teeth into. And then in the end, maybe there's someone here that that she may be jealous of. There may be feelings of jealousy. In a sense, this is interesting what I'm getting here, because in a sense, I'm seeing these emotions, and I don't feel, like I said, anything's going really deeply. I think we're just dating and dabbling our toes. But I get a sense that the Taurus woman is letting go of one relationship that maybe she shouldn't have let go of. She's getting a feeling that she's let it go, and now he's with someone else, and now she's jealous, like she wants it back. So be aware of that. I think, and then the universe going, no, we need to not do that. Don't dwell on things we let go. We let go for a reason, and then you get it back. You'll really understand that reason. But it seems like we let something go, and we're doing it for the right reasons, and then we have a regret for that. So there's some kind of a situation here where we let something go and we're really upset about it, and they move on, and then we're really jealous that they moved on, you know, and it's like, well, it didn't fit for you, so we need to let it go. We need to completely let it go. So there may be some emotions that they're filtering through all of this, but it's good because I'm getting a sense that the Taurus female is doing that. She is processing those emotions, and she needs to do that. So getting a high sense of that. But it seems like there's not she gets into a mode where she's not afraid to let them go, but then after she's alone for a while, she's kind of regretting to a deeper degree that she let one of them go. And I feel like there's a series of 3 here that kind of come in lightly dating scene, and one of them is heads or tails above the rest, kind of that earth energy. Like I say, may not be an earth sign, but earth characteristics, which is grounded and solid, stable, you know, financially secure, and able to do things and go out and be. But in the bedroom, there's just doesn't add up. There's a physical repulsion there. And I don't mean of the physical body. I mean their physical manner of attacking sex is way off from the Taurus female. Of whoa, that's too much for me, or I don't like that. You know, it's offensive. Is the word I got. It's offensive to the female. She's just not having it. She can't go on with that. No matter how good it is outside the bedroom, she can't carry the physical side of it. It's not jiving, not working. So But nonetheless, we end up at regret. But I think she just has to deal with that process, and she'll continue to move forward, because there's a lot of people here in the signs not processing emotions, and it causes problems. So I feel the Taurus female is very much in her emotions and dealing with that. So as heartbreaking as that can be, it's healthier. It's healthier you deal with that stuff, then you do completely move on and you don't have any unresolved stuff in the past. So that's good for that female Taurus. She's doing okay, and I don't feel she's doing anything wrong. I don't think she's cheating or whatever. I think she's lightly dating, and that's all. It's all above board. That's the feeling they're giving me. It's all good. It's just not her taste. She doesn't fit this mold yet. So we need to find out where that fits, and it's kind of the frustration of waiting and having to go through those peaks and moments where, oh, this one might be, and then you get them in the bedroom, nope, that's not it. You know, so you got to move on, and you don't want to go against instinct on those things. You just don't, because it could end up in a way that's not even safe for you. So, and I'm not saying that's the way this one would go, but I'm saying that's the way things could go. So we never want to go against that, and I think she's smart enough to know that. She wouldn't compromise herself for that. She made the decision not to, but hopefully the regret isn't in that way, but nonetheless being felt. So hopefully, Taurus females, you have a happy Valentine's Day. I feel like you're in the dating zone and you're just not finding anything you quite want yet, but have a little patience. It's coming. Seems like it's just going to be kind of that dating scene over the month and into the spring, and I feel a greater sense, though, of the female knowing exactly what she will and won't put up with. She's laying that barrier, that box has got 3 sides on it. We just, you know, there's a little bit of stuff we're willing to accept that we shouldn't, and when we do, and we put that lid on that box, then we're good to go. Then that energy can come to us because we know exactly, and we're really getting on top of that over February. So happy Valentine's Day, Taurus female singles. Take care, have fun, and be kind.